I actually had some foster parents come up to me at a luncheon last year, and they had said they had finally got to adopt, and they said it took us up to 2 years, but you had actually told us that this would be a long process. And they thanked me for that, and they said they understood that it's a process you have to go through.
How should a child be prepared for court?
I think when the child's coming to court, we just need to make sure that they're not going to hear anything that they weren't aware of. Something shocking, such as the mother has a boyfriend, or he doesn't know his father also has a substance abuse issue. If he thinks his father's been out of town working, but in fact his father's in prison, some shocking bit of news, the child needs to either be prepared for that or not present when that happens. Other than that, the child just needs to know the basic rules and to listen and know that they have a voice if there's something they'd like to say.
Do most kids really understand what is being decided in your court?
I think they do. I think they know more than anyone in the room because they've lived in those homes. They know more. They know more about life than anyone. They know what their parents are.
Do you remember, or can you give us any short story that a child said to you in court that was either humorous or really got to you?
The story I shared about the little boy just a few moments ago, that really got to me. I think my biggest moments in court, because really the children that speak are more of your teenagers.
Right.
Our younger children, just given their age, they're not going to speak, or if they do, they're just overwhelmed because they're preteens, they're too young. With the teenagers, what I have found so rewarding with them is I make a point where I speak honestly with them, and I'll tell them, I know what you're going through. I know you don't like the group home. And I'll talk to them in a way you need to speak to a teenager. They're not a child, but they're not an adult. And I remember once I had a young girl, and she was pretty feisty. I mean, she stuck up for herself, and things weren't going well in her adoptive. I think she had been adopted. It was either an adoption or a pre-adoption home. And the parents were having a hard time with her, and she's feisty, and she'll tell you what's on her mind because she was raised pretty rough, and that's kind of her protection mechanism. And we had placed her in a treatment facility. Now, it was a group home, but also a treatment aspect to it. And she had ran away from there. And she ran away from there with a friend of hers that she had met on Facebook. And after a few weeks, she called and turned herself back in. It never goes well when they leave because they have nowhere to live. And she came back, and we were going over a case, and she asked me that, she said, Judge Sumner, could I at some point get my Facebook back? And the defects manager says, no, she just wants to talk to her boyfriend. She wants to run away again. And I asked her about that. She says, no, Judge, says, he's a very good friend of mine. I ran away because I was frustrated. I could run away tonight if I want. I'm not going to run away again, but he's my only friend, and I want a way to communicate with him. I said, well, I'll tell you what. You've had problems with the rules there. Give me 30 days, no rule violations. You go to therapy. You do your therapy. We'll get your Facebook back. You violate Facebook rules one time, you'll never see it again. Do you understand that? Yes, sir. And just to see the look in her eyes, because I get that from a lot of teenagers, someone's actually listening to me. And I know there's rules, and this guy just told me I have to obey the rules, but I'm going to do it because I trust him. And then we came back I think 6 weeks later. No rules violation. Doing great. She did her Facebook. She was talking to her friend and was a very happy, content young lady.
What are the demographics in your court, percentage-wise? How many are teenagers? How many are babies? How many are girls? How many are boys? How many come from a good home, upper-class home? How many come from a not upper-class? Can you give me some ideas?
I will tell you that the demographics are spread out equally. I get, as far as age, we get kids from all age groups. I would say that most that I see are what I call working middle class, barely making it, lower income, but above the poverty line. We get a few high poverty cases. We do get a few, no, we get more than a few high economic cases. The high economic tend to either be substance abuse with the parents, or they haven't parented their child. They've pampered them and they've given them everything they want, and now the child's out of control. I see a lot more upper middle class than you think you would, or an upper class, but I think the large majority of them are working, I don't want to say poor, but working below middle class, lower middle class. And coming into this, I thought that everything I would see would be your stereotypical lower income, bad living conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a lot of what I call functioning drug addicts. They are people whose substance abuse occurs on the weekends. Now, we know there's no such thing as that it spills out to the rest of the week. But they maintain a job, but it's not certainly the best job they could get. They maintain a living. It's certainly not the best place they could live. But from Friday till Monday morning, they're partying. And then somehow they come on our radar, and then, they see that they do have a substance abuse issue. So it's just been interesting to me over the years how many what I call functioning drug addicts that we have.
What do you think, if any, is the biggest misconception that the media has?
Two things. I think from the child's perspective, they unfairly portray these children as if when it's a young girl, she's going to make false accusations of sexual misconduct, and the boy is going to steal your car in the middle of the night. They make them out to be little delinquents, horrible little street children. I found it's the exact opposite. Most of them are sweet, sweet kids who've been traumatized, and a lot of them have an exterior to protect themselves, but once you break down that wall, you make a connection with them, and they just want to have a family. I think from the fostering side, they portray foster parents as either someone who's just there for the check or somebody who is beyond all reproach and is an angel for doing this, for coming in and saving these children. And I find most of that's not like that. I mean, our foster parents have big hearts. I think the biggest problem with fostering is they're not prepared to the extent that they need to be for the trauma that these children have experienced. And I think that they're not prepared because most of our foster parents come from homes that had good discipline. And, somebody asked, where were you today? And what's your homework? And the children that we get in have just had such undisciplined or just very all over the place backgrounds that they need just the basics in life.
What can a prospective foster parent do that has never done it before to prepare themselves for this role?
I would think to just ask to meet with existing foster parents and find a way through DFACS and through the existing foster parents just to meet kids and just to see them how they are. Because, DFACS, they're struggling. I mean, they've got to get foster homes, and DFACS does a great job. People bash DFACS too much. They just have a very, very difficult job.
And DFACS means, what does DFACS mean again?
Department of Family and Children's Services, the state agency in charge of foster care. I don't know if they actually, it's just difficult to fully prepare somebody. But if I was thinking about fostering, I would want to meet with other foster parents, and then I would want to meet with children who are in foster care now.
Let me get you out of the courtroom. How do you relax? How do you relax when you get home?
Actually, I love to do projects. I love to do home renovations, photography, being outside. Love something where I have a goal that's not going to affect where someone's sleeping that night. So I'm going to lay new floor. In fact, we're taking a bedroom this weekend. We're slowly becoming empty nesters, and we're creating a dart room. So we are repainting. I'm putting some brick wall up, and I'm excited just to measure where my dartboard goes.
How many children do you have?
4.
4. What are their ages?
They are from 18 to 23.
Oh, wow. What is your favorite way to work out, even if it's only 2 minutes a day?
Actually, I hit the gym every morning before I come to work.
Oh, really?
Yep, I do a cardio and weightlifting and just an overall fitness program.
What's your favorite word? And then what's your least favorite word?
It's probably my least favorite because I use it all the time. And it's not a good word. I should do better. It's not a good expression of myself. My favorite word, it's two of them, Braves win. That's my favorite two words in the dictionary, Braves win.
Yeah. Do you prefer talking on your phone or texting on your phone?
Talking.
If you were to get a tattoo tomorrow, what would it be?
Atlanta Braves world champs.
You're into sports, huh? Big
love
time.
The Braves. Yep,
Good.
love the Braves.
What turns you off and what turns you on?
Herb, you're asking hard questions here.
That's what I get paid for, Judge.
What turns me off is the present state of discussion and discussions in this country. We've reached a point where you can't even have a conversation anymore, and you can't have different opinions. And whenever I hear dissension that's just based on dissension versus having a true discussion of ideas, that just really turns me off. Unnecessary conflict. What turns me on is a good home-cooked meal that my wife and I prepared, and we've got something we're going to enjoy and watch on TV. Home. Home is what I love.
What's your favorite food, as long as you brought it up?
Hot and tasty. I like all kinds of food.
Good.
If I had no choice, if there was only one choice to make, it would probably be Italian.
What's your favorite breakfast?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Herb. I have to say, officially, my favorite breakfast is a smoothie that's healthy, but I don't want to lie to you. So really, my favorite breakfast would be a cat head biscuit with cane syrup on it. I'm a southern Georgia boy, and that's my favorite breakfast. I was raised in Leesburg, Georgia, and I am a South Georgia boy. And a big biscuit with cane syrup, that's my favorite breakfast.
Now the most important question of the day. What is your favorite flavor in ice cream?
Gosh, I was just talking about this with my secretary. Because it's the flavor she got. Oh, my gosh. Coffee ice cream. That was my mother's favorite ice cream. Loved eating that with her. And then butter pecan. Big bowl of butter pecan, watching the Braves at home is a dream.
If someone would like to talk to you, discuss any matters at all, especially from your profession, is there a way that they can get in touch with you, either email, telephone, fax, what have you?
Yes, through my secretary, through my office, and it's listed on our website. Cherokee County, Georgia, Juvenile Court. And then Cheryl Marshall, who is my administrative assistant. She is actually C. Marshall at CherokeeGA.com.
Thanks for listening to Our Town Live, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a review.